The studio lights blaze down on the set of The View, where the audience buzzes with anticipation, their murmurs filling the air like static before a storm. Johnny Depp, dressed in his signature eclectic style, think layered scarves, a fedora tilted just so, and those iconic tinted glasses, strides onto the stage with a swagger that's equal parts charm and defiance. The hosts, seated in their usual semicircle, exchange glances, their smiles tight. Joy Behar, ever the firebrand, leans forward, her eyes glinting with the kind of mischief that promises a headline. The crowd senses it. Something big is coming. Depp settles into the guest chair, his grin easy but his posture alert, like a panther sizing up its surroundings. The host introductions are quick, but Joy wastes no time diving in. "So, Johnny," she says, her tone sharp, "you've been in the news a lot lately, and not always for the best reasons. Care to set the record straight?" The audience leans in, hanging on every word. Depp's smile doesn't falter, but there's a flicker in his eyes, something steely, something ready. He leans back, crossing one leg over the other, and says, "Joy, I've been setting things straight my whole life. Where do you want to start?" The crowd chuckles, but it's nervous laughter, the kind that knows a spark's about to ignite. Joy doesn't miss a beat. She brings up the viral moment, a heated exchange from years ago, resurfaced on social media, where Depp and Behar reportedly clashed at a charity event. The details are murky, but the internet has spun it into a saga of egos and insults. "People say you were out of line," Joy presses, her voice dripping with challenge. "They say you can't handle criticism." Depp's grin fades just a fraction, and the room feels a shift, a tightening. He tilts his head, studying her. "Joy," he says, his voice low, deliberate, "people say a lot of things. Most of it's noise. You want to talk about what's real? I'm game, but let's not play telephone with gossip." The audience gasps, a collective inhale, as Joy's eyebrows shoot up. She's not backing down, though. "Oh, we're getting real today," she quips, and the stage is set for a showdown. The other hosts, a Whoopi, Sarah, Sonia, exchange looks, half amused, half wary, as the tension crackles. Depp's fingers drum lightly on the armrest, a telltale sign he's not here to be cornered. The crowd's on edge, waiting for the eruption the headlines promised. Joy Behar, never one to shy away from a verbal sparring match, leans into the moment with the gusto of a seasoned debater. "Let's talk about your public image, Johnny," she says, her voice carrying that trademark blend of humor and bite. "You've got fans who'd walk through fire for you, but there's a whole corner of the internet calling you a broken bar, let's say, unstable. That viral clip from the event, people say you lost it. What's your side?" The audience murmurs, phones already out, ready to capture whatever comes next. Depp's eyes narrow slightly, but his smile returns, sharper now, like a blade catching the light. "Joy, you know how the internet works. One out of context clip, and suddenly I'm the villain in a movie I didn't sign up for." He pauses, letting the words sink in, his voice smooth but laced with an edge. "That event, I was defending a friend, someone got in my face, and I don't roll over when loyalty's on the line. But sure, let's call it out losing it if that's the story you're selling." The crowd erupts in cheers, some clapping, others whispering, as the energy in the room spikes. Joy, unfazed, pushes harder, defending a friend or dodging accountability? Because, Johnny, you've got a history of lawsuits, tabloid drama, the whole pirate act wearing thin. The jab lands, and the audience gasps again, louder this time. Depp's jaw tightens, but he doesn't flinch. Instead, he leans forward, elbows on his knees, and locks eyes with Joy. "You want to talk history? Let's talk about how quick people are to judge when they've only got half the story. I've been through the ringer, yeah. Lawsuits, headlines, all of it. But I'm still here, still creating, still standing. Can you say that about everyone who's taken a swing at me?" The room explodes with applause, some audience members on their feet. Whoopi tries to steer the conversation, tossing in a light-hearted "Okay, let's keep it friendly, folks," but it's clear the gloves are off. Joy, undeterred, fires back, standing, "Sure, but at what cost? Your fans love the rebel, but some say you're burning bridges." Depp laughs a low, rumbling sound that's equal parts amusement and warning. Burning bridges, Joy, I'm building ships, always have. The crowd roars, feeding off his defiance. Sarah jumps in, trying to defuse with a question about his latest film, but the spotlight's on Depp and Behar, and neither is backing down. The air hums with anticipation, every word a potential landmine. The exchange has the room in a chokehold, every eye glued to the verbal chess match unfolding. Joy Behar, sensing the crowd's hunger for drama, doubles down. Ships, Johnny, sounds poetic, but let's be real, your career's taken hits. The lawsuits, the scandals, that viral clip where you're yelling a broken bar, people wonder if you're still bankable. Her words are a gauntlet, thrown with precision, and the audience holds its breath. Depp's expression doesn't waver, but there's a fire in his eyes now, a spark that says he's done playing nice. Bankable? He repeats, his voice dripping with mock surprise. Joy, I've been unbankable since I started picking roles that scare the suits. You think I care about their scorecards? I make art, not spreadsheets. The crowd cheers wildly, feeding off his rebel energy. He leans closer, his tone steady but intense. That clip you keep circling back to, it's a 3-second snippet of a bad night, blown up by people who make a living tearing others down. You want to know what happened? Ask me. Don't read me the internet script. The audience erupts again, some shouting his name, others filming every second. Joy, never one to be outdone, smirks and says, I'm asking now, Johnny, enlighten us. It's a dare, and he takes it. All right, he says, his voice dropping to a near whisper, commanding silence. That night, someone insulted a person I care about. As someone who's been through enough, I didn't yell because I'm unstable. I yelled because I'm human, and I'd do it again. The room is electric, the applause deafening. Sonny Hosting tries to pivot, asking about his upcoming projects, but Joy's not done. Human's fine, but the world's watching. Johnny, you're a brand now. Can you afford to be that human? It's a low blow, and the crowd senses it, their cheers turning to murmurs. Depp's smile is gone now, replaced by a steely resolve. A brand? He says, almost spitting the word. I'm a person, Joy, not a logo. If the world can't handle that, that's their problem, not mine. The audience roars back to life, some standing, others chanting. Whippy, sensing the need for a breather, calls for a commercial break, but not before Depp adds, and for the record, I don't afford anything, I live. The line lands like a mic drop, and the crowd loses it. As the cameras cut, the tension lingers, a storm still brewing. Back from the break, the studio hums with a restless energy, the audience still buzzing from the earlier clash. Johnny Depp sits back in his chair, his demeanor calm but his eyes sharp, like a man who's weathered too many battles to be rattled. Joy Behar, undeterred by the earlier fireworks, adjusts her glasses and dives back in. All right, Johnny, you say you're human, fair enough, but let's talk about the fallout. That viral clip didn't just vanish, it's shaped how people see you. Some say you're a loose cannon. How do you rebuild trust? The question is loaded, and the crowd leans in, sensing another round. Depp's lips curl into a half-smile, but there's no warmth in it. Rebuild trust? He says, his voice slow, deliberate. Joy, I don't chase approval, never have. The people who get me, my fans, my friends, they know who I am. The rest, they're just passing through. The audience cheers, a wave of support washing over the set. He continues, his tone measured but firm. That clip you're so fond of? It's a fragment, a moment twisted to fit someone else's narrative. I don't owe the world an apology for being me. Joy's quick to counter, her voice rising slightly. But it's not just one clip, Johnny. It's a pattern of court cases, headlines, rumors. People wonder if you're spiraling. The accusation hangs heavy, and the crowd's cheers fade to a tense hush. Depp leans forward, his gaze locked on Joy. Spiraling, or surviving? I've been up against more than most, and I'm still here, making films, making music, living my truth. You call it a pattern, I call it a life. The audience erupts again, some clapping, others shouting encouragement. Sarah Haynes tries to lighten the mood, asking about his music career, but Joy cuts in. Living your truth is great, but when does it become reckless? Fans worry, Johnny. It's a softer approach, but the sting is there. Depp's eyes soften for a moment, acknowledging the fans. I hear them, he says, his voice quieter now, and I'm grateful. But I don't live for headlines or hot takes. I live for the work, the art, the people who see past the noise. The crowd's back with him, their cheers a shield against Joy's probing. Whoopi jumps in, steering toward his latest troll, but the undercurrent remains Depp's defiance, Joy's persistence, and a room ready for more. The conversation takes a brief detour as Sunny Hostin asks about Johnny Depp's latest film, a gritty indie project that's got critics buzzing. He lights up, his passion for storytelling cutting through the tension. This one's raw, he says, his voice warm with pride. It's about redemption, flaws, the messy stuff that makes us human, kind of like this conversation, right? The audience laughs, a brief release, but Joy Behar's not ready to let the spotlight shift. Redemption's a great theme, Johnny, she says, her tone sly, but some say you're still chasing it yourself. That viral momenta people saw anger, not art. How do you convince them otherwise? The crowd bristles, sensing the jab. Depp's smile is back, but it's tight, calculated. Convince them? He says, almost laughing. Joy, I don't audition for public opinion. That moment you keep bringing up, it was me standing up for what's right. If people see anger, maybe they're not looking hard enough. The audience cheers, louder now, feeding off his intensity. He leans back, his voice steady but fierce. I've spent years fighting battles, some in court, some in my head, and I'm still creating. That's my answer to the noise. Joy's quick, her eyes gleaming. Creating, sure, but at what cost? You're a star, Johnny, but stars fall when they don't adapt. The words are sharp, and the crowd gasps, a mix of shock and excitement. Depp's gaze doesn't waver. Fall? He says, his voice low, almost dangerous. I don't fall, Joy. I evolve. Always have, always will. The room explodes, the audience on its feet, their cheers drowning out the host's attempts to move on. Sarah tries to pivot to his fashion choices, a safe topic, but Joy's not done. Evolving's one thing, she says, but the world's changed. People demand accountability now. Can you keep up? It's a challenge, and Depp meets it head-on. Accountability? He says, his tone cutting. I'm accountable to myself, my art, my kids. The world's demands? They don't own me. The crowd roars, some chanting his name, as Whoopi calls for calm. The tension's a live wire, and every word is fuel. Depp's defiance, Joy's persistence. It's a clash of wills, and the audience is eating it up. As the show nears its close, the air in the studio is thick with unresolved energy, a storm that's been brewing since Johnny Depp first stepped on stage. Joy Behar, sensing the clock ticking, goes for one last push. Johnny, you're a fighter, we get it, she says, her voice a mix of respect and challenge. But that viral clash, it's not just about you, it's about how you handle pressure. Fans want to know, are you still the guy they fell in love with? The question is softer but no less pointed, and the audience leans in, phones up, capturing every second. Depp pauses, his eyes scanning the crowd, taking in their energy. The guy they fell in love with, he says, his voice quieter now, almost introspective. He's still here, older, maybe wiser, definitely battered. But I don't play for the crowd, Joy. I play for the truth. The audience erupts, their cheers a tidal wave of support. He leans forward, his tone earnest. That viral moment, it wasn't about losing control, it was about standing my ground. If that makes me the bad guy in someone's story, so be it. I know who I am. The crowd's on its feet, their applause shaking the studio. Joy, for once, seems to soften, nodding slightly. Fair enough, she says, but there's a glint in her eye that says she's not conceding. Whoopi jumps in, wrapping things up with a warm, Johnny, you've given us a lot to think about. The other hosts chime in, thanking him, but the spotlight's still on Depp. He stands, tipping his hat to the crowd, his smile a mix of gratitude and defiance. Thanks for having me, he says, his voice carrying over the cheers. And Joy? Keep asking the hard questions, someone's gotta. The audience laughs, a release of tension, as he strides off stage, leaving the room buzzing with awe and debate. The cameras linger on the hosts, Joy's smirk saying she's ready for the next round, while the audience keeps clapping, their energy uncontainable. Social media's already lighting up, clips of the clash spreading like wildfire. It's a moment no one will forget, a collision of truth, defiance, and raw star power.